wrong. The first up is a really, really nice kit. It's interesting just to see the level of detail that can be done these days. And I hate to admit it, I suppose the molding and just the resolution that they're getting on this is excellent. It really leaves some of the planes and things I normally do in its dust for sure. This is really, really nice. The fit is superb. For those of you that complain that to me it can be a bit shake and bake, this one, the fit is even better. The only difference is I'd say that because it's not something I was used to, I did have to think a few times about how this goes together. There's a few bits there that did have me scratching my head a little. The other thing I'd say is that the instructions are minuscule. They're actually, out of the whole build, that would probably be my only complaint, that the instructions, as you can see there, they're printed in the background on the inside of the box, and yeah, they are tiny. So if you're older, you're going to need your reading glasses. If you're younger, you're probably still going to need to pay attention. Not that there's anything hugely complex there, but yeah, there's a couple bits that you want to make sure they go the right way and so on. Other than that, you don't really even need glue. This is one that, you can put together on kitchen table. I use glue here and there because it just helped a couple pieces sit better, but I wouldn't even say it's essential. The stand's done in black plastic. As to the plastic, it's excellent, very hard. It reminds me more of the Edward type plastic, even harder than what was I going to say, like Tamiya. This is really quite a rigid plastic, and I assume that's how they get such fine detail. And you can see here, it goes together very quick, and the amount of detail that they're packing in. Because don't forget, the whole thing is probably 4 inches, 10 centimeters, something like that in length. So it is really quite small, and like I say, the resolution is crazy. I've come over with, in this case, XF80, just some Royal Light Grey. I'm not an expert on what the colours are. I will say I did, in the interest of accuracy, historical accuracy, if you could call it that, go back and have a look at some pictures, photographs from the movie, and I did find one of the Millennium Falcon leaving Tatooine. So I've based my painting and scheme on that. You don't even need to paint this, to be honest, and I'm really saying that from the point of view of someone who's more on the Star Wars side and is a bit wary of doing the modelling. I've painted it, now I've come across and started to add the stickers. The stickers there's nothing wrong with, but they're not decals, so they're a bit chunky and clunky, as you can see here, as it basically is put down. And again, this is small stuff, so you probably would need some tweezers. In the end, I did get fed up with the stickers. I just wasn't happy with the effect I was getting. Having said that, for normal, like everyday sort of thing, you can get a nice little kit here, just going with the stickers. What I did do though is I ended up hand painting. I've left this footage of doing the stickers in though, just as much to show you how it can be done and the effect you'll get. It's not a big deal, but since I've got paints and brushes there, and for better or worse, I profess to be a modelling channel, I thought I'd go the next step, and I got a bit fed up and ended up taking them off and coming back and hand brushing them. By the way, don't forget to like, comment and subscribe, because it does make a big difference to channels, especially the smaller ones. Okay, so the red on the spaceship, whatever it's called, Millennium Falcon, it's actually more of a maroon color. I didn't have that, so going back to art class, I did have red and, as you saw there, park green. And green being the complement of red, that's how you darken the red. So that gave me that nice deep maroon color. Not a lot of trouble in mixing that. One thing I would say is I actually did find the hand painting, if anything, maybe a little bit easier than doing the stickers. The one good thing about doing the stickers first is it almost gave me a painting guide. If you take your time, you won't have any trouble. I would say give it a go with the hand brushing. You do get a lot nicer effect, I think, than the stickers. The stickers are what I'd say adequate. So there you can see me pulling off one that I had put on before, and it just gives me that guidance as to where they are. I have no idea why these red patches are where they are or what they do. My Star Wars experience, I have to admit, is limited. I've read some of the books. I can remember seeing Return of the Jedi when it came out in the movie, in the cinema. So that probably gives you an idea of where I'm coming at Star Wars from. Interestingly, that was my first sort of real date. I wonder what happened to Belinda. So there you go. Now I've come across with the light sea grey. Again, I'm just essentially pulling off the grey stickers and hand brushing this. The nice thing is the panel lines are so well done on this that, the paint almost flows into them. So it gives you a nice edge anyway without really trying too hard. In this case, I've also used Tamiya paints. Generally, I'd use lacquers, but in this case, I think Tamiya paints are easy to get in most towns, most high streets, main street toy shop. You can find Tamiya paints. So if you're more on the Star Wars side of the ledger, a couple Tamiya paints for a few dollars or a few pounds, whatever you're playing with, you can pick up anywhere. Nice little brush, and you won't have any problems at all. One thing I'd say, if you're not really coming at it from the modeling side, I would be tempted not to paint it. I would just leave the bare plastic and do the detail if that's where you're at, because hand brushing big surfaces like the body and everything, that can be a bit of an art in itself unless you've got an airbrush and all that. Okay, so as you can see here, I'm just taking my time doing these panels, coming across with the grey. And I would also say that on my part, it's just nice to do something different. I'm not having to do canopy masking and all that with this. And I think that's good. You also get a different take on things. So now what I'm doing, I'm really just doing light washes for the weathering. I'm going to show you 3 ways to do it. One is, like you see here, I'm just really putting very dilute black. And the nice thing about this is you put too much, you can easily take it off with a towel. And you'll see that I kind of do that, adding and subtracting, playing around with it. Because again, like I said, the reference pic that I did see, this is a pretty beaten up spaceship. It's my understanding of the story, and someone can correct me if I'm wrong, is that I think Han Solo won it, or don't know, got it in a bed or something like that. So it's not supposed to be all nice and new and shiny. And then, like, whether you're doing futuristic spaceships or working military equipment, I guess you need to consider what the purpose of it all is. And if this is a trading ship, I doubt that they're out there polishing and painting and all the rest on weekends. If they have weekends in space, I'm not really sure. So I'm just coming across now, like I said, a lot of very dilute black. You can do lots of different weathering, and that's a whole thing in itself. So you'll see here, that looks pretty dark, but there's a lot of water there. It's easy just to dab off too much. And again, not being a spaceship expert, I'm assuming that these are some sort of exhausts, again, based on what I saw. So I'm just really, at this point, I'm having a lot of fun with it, to be honest. It's a nice little kit. I'd probably do some more just for fun. I'm just having a lot of fun here. Really, it's quite therapeutic, or almost coming in, doing it this way. Like I said, just these are really light washes, and you don't have to use black. You could use brown or whatever else you come up with. As I say, I just used Tamiya in this one because I've got them sitting there. They're easy to get, but it could be, I'm not recommending any brands or anything, but any of the acrylics that are available, Vallejo, AK, all of them, whatever's handy. The other thing that I'm doing now is I'm using a panel liner. And if you can find somewhere that sells Tamiya paints, you can normally find this. It's just an enamel wash. What it does is it flows into the cracks and crevices and gives that, like you see, a weathered effect, really. And again, this is really quite fun at this point. It's one of those things I can just sort of relax and have fun. The last bit, what I'm doing here now, is using oil with white spirit. And this is a really neat way to do it. In my case, I'm using basically a specialist oil paint, which all that really means is costs you twice as much. But again, this is one, most high streets, main streets, you can just use some cheap oil paint and white spirit and you're good. You can play around as much as you like with that, and mostly it'll wipe off. As mentioned, from my advanced research into the Millennium Falcon, which means I looked at a couple pictures, I did see that the exhaust or the rocket motors were white with a blue edging. So I've tried to simulate that, and that's what I've done. So we're really coming to the end of the build at this point. I do hope that you have enjoyed it. I do hope that you enjoy seeing something different. If you're coming at it from the modeling side, definitely give it a go, because you don't need a huge amount of experience or tools or whatever to put these together. I think they're really nice kit, even for kids and so on. It's not a big deal at all to put one of these together on the kitchen table and to get a reasonably nice result. So there you go. I'm really quite happy with it. I would do more. If you're coming at it more from doing traditional historical models, planes, P-51s and things, never hurts to have a look at something different. In this case, I was really impressed with just the quality. It almost made me think some of the others need to catch up with where this is at. So once again, thank you.